I need to get ready for the day, but I'm also in kind of like a yappy mood. So let's get ready and chat together. First things first, I must caveat it is so hot today. I don't sweat, I glisten. And I am glistening a lot right now. Yeah, that's not good. And I'm about to put makeup on. So let's say a little prayer for me. According to my phone, it is currently 33 degrees outside. There's even a severe weather warning alert. But anyway, let's get on and get ready. Let's put the contacts in first of all. As you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about something that's been on my mind a lot lately. And it's essentially the idea of feeling a little lost, especially in our 20s, because, you know, I'm a girl in my 20s, so I mean, that's all I can speak to. Contact number one, she's in. So yeah, this video is for anyone who's feeling a little bit lost right now, and not necessarily in like a dramatic way, but more so in like a quiet way whereby everything looks perfect and fine from the outside looking in, but internally you're thinking, is this it? Like, is this really it? Maybe you don't hate your life, maybe you don't think there's anything particularly wrong, but something, just something, feels a little bit off. And with that, you can't quite decide what direction your life is supposed to be taking. If that's you, keep watching. I guess I want to touch on what it means to feel a little bit lost and why it might not be the problem that you might think it is. Give me a sec, my contact feels weird. Let's just switch that out. Okay, we're back. Your girl can see. So I'll give you something that I realized recently, and it's the fact that, in all honesty, we are all just figuring it out one step at a time. No one actually has this full map and has everything perfectly planned out. It just may look like it from the outside looking in. And I think the fact that there is no perfect map for life becomes more evident as you get older. So for me, I went from being a little girl with loads of big dreams, and I guess, so to speak, I'm now a big girl who has fulfilled quite a lot of those dreams. I got good grades, I went to university, I managed to get a decent job, I'm independent, I've moved to the big city. So on paper, I guess you can argue that, yeah, I have achieved a lot of my goals. I'm sure there are many people out there who have probably taken a similar path to myself. For a while, I had this feeling of, okay, is this it? The weird thing is that a lot of the things that I thought that would make me feel complete actually, in fact, didn't. I think I probably felt more lost than I've ever felt before. I feel like when we're younger, life feels more structured. There's a path you're meant to take. School, exams, university, job, success. Simple. Even if you don't fully follow that path, I guess that path stands as a reference point that the majority at least follow. But then suddenly you get to a point whereby you've achieved everything on that pathway, and it comes a time where no one is telling you what to do. That in itself can be a little bit scary for someone who is used to just, you know, following the natural path, following the rules, and knowing exactly what the next step is. For the first time, you aren't working towards a predefined set of rules or set of steps. You are just out here figuring it out. That in itself can be very uncomfortable. Lost doesn't necessarily mean you're going in the wrong direction or that you're necessarily going about things in a wrong way. Sometimes it's literally just about not feeling like you fit in anymore. And to be honest, that is probably a little bit of what I've been experiencing lately. On the outside, I think things are great. Like, they truly are. And to be honest, on the inside, they are great as well. I think it's just a case of now being at this inflection point in life where I literally can take my life in whatever direction I want. There are people my age who are steady, happy, and wanting to stay in their roles, and that's them sorted, they're happy. There are people who are settling down, having kids. There are people who are starting businesses or are scaling their businesses. There are so many paths and options to take, and it can be a little bit overwhelming not knowing which one to take. But at that same time, the fact that there is no rule book in itself is an opportunity. And if you reframe your thinking, the thing that I'm trying to do right now, it in itself actually offers freedom. Freedom to choose, freedom to do what you want, and freedom to create the life and the path that you want to walk in. Freedom is exciting, but do not get me wrong, freedom can also feel overwhelming because I don't just now have options, I have the responsibility of determining the direction of my life. Like, I'm just a baby girl. Like, when did this happen? When did I become an adult? Like, I would love to know. I've just flipped the mirror and realized that I've been staring at myself in like ultra zoomed in version, and I was just like, I'm not feeling myself. Why am I not feeling myself? It's because I was looking at myself too close up. Now I'm looking at a normal distance. I'm like, there she is. I really caught the sun in the last couple of days. The sun has been intense over here in London town, and that's why I must reach for my Yummy Skin blurring balm, because whew, I've been a sweaty mess the last couple of days, and I'm already a sweaty mess right now, so I just really need to lather this on my skin to give myself any chance of keeping a shred of makeup on today. It's getting every nook and cranny. I think it's important to say that feeling lost doesn't actually mean that your life is like falling apart or anything like that. It just means that something inside you is not fully in lining with where you're at right now. It could mean a job that no longer fits you, a relationship that's ending, a version of yourself that you've outgrown, or just generally quietly feeling that something needs to change. And instead of seeing that as failure, you need to look at it as your brain giving you a nudge or your body giving you a nudge as to, okay, let's stop, let's think, let's redirect, let's make a change. It's literally just information that you then need to act upon. Because deep down, people typically know what they want, like deep down. You often know that you want more than this. And it's up to you to create that change and to get more than whatever this is. And just because you know you want more doesn't necessarily mean in that moment you know exactly what more is. You got to figure it out. It can be fun to figure things out and to try to determine what that more is, but then I also fully do acknowledge that not knowing what that more is where that feeling of being lost comes from, because your clearer chapter is ending, but the next chapter hasn't fully revealed itself yet. I think this whole feeling and idea of being lost or being in this question mark transition phase is not fully appreciated and given as much time of day as it deserves, and everyone goes through this phase. I think in all of this there is a part that people misunderstand. I think within this season of perhaps feeling lost, there is a bit of a disconnect and a bit of a misunderstanding about how to navigate it. It's not just something you need to get through as quickly as possible. It's actually one of the most important phases of your life, because in this phase of life you stop living in autopilot and you actually start questioning things. You start noticing things that you do like, things that you don't like, and then you stop doing things just because they're expected of you. And I acknowledge that this probably feels very uncomfortable, but this is often where the real transformation starts, because in this you don't have a clear path in front of you, therefore you must create your own path. Genuinely, the approach of trying to rush through this phase isn't the right one to be taking. I think you just have to make the goals smaller, and instead of just trying to focus on the end goal, make many small goals and take small steps, one step at a time, towards achieving them. One of my favorite things and one of my favorite sayings that I say to myself all the time is, Esther, it is one thing at a time. It really is that simple for me. Just one step, just that next step. Because in reality, clarity doesn't come before action, it comes as a result of action. I think I've just ruined my makeup. I'm gonna try and get another concealer because this is not looking good. I always really struggle because I've got two dark marks here on my nose from where my glasses sit, and I always really struggle to cover them. But anyway, like I said, clarity doesn't come before action. Action literally reveals the clarity that you need, because ultimately you try something, you notice how it feels, and then with that, slowly direction starts to form. Not all at once, but gradually. So if you're at that phase right now, you don't need to feel like you need to have a 5-year plan all mapped out and sorted. You just need to start making a step. The path and direction will slowly reveal itself. I think one of the questions that you need to ask yourself is, what is a step or some of the steps that I need to take in order to move me towards something that I care about? And then I think that will reveal what the first or what one of the first steps that you should be taking are. When you figured out that first step, no matter how small it is, you just need to take that action. And even if it doesn't feel like the full answer, because in truth, most of life isn't built from the big decision. It's actually built from the small actions and decisions that compound and build over time. So if you take anything from this video, please let it be that feeling lost does not mean that you are behind. Like, truthfully, we all go through that feeling of feeling lost. So I want you to know that feeling is not just you. Feeling lost often just means that you are in a transition phase. You've literally outgrown one version of yourself, and you're literally in the process of becoming the next version. Even if it doesn't fully feel clear right now, you are still moving forward, one step at a time. Time to set the powders. That's as much makeup as I'm willing to do in this heat. The makeup is finito, and so is my yapping session. Actually, let me just quickly put some lip gloss on. So Chelsea from Selling Sunsets influenced me into buying this. and it is the Clarins, I think it's a lip oil, but I really do love it. Yes, it's a lip oil. Yes, I've got dark lips, but I still feel as though you see the pigment. I don't know if it's coming through very well on camera, but there is gloss, there is shine, and there is pigment there. Okay, that's enough of that. Now the makeup is done. I need to go get changed and continue my day. But anyway, closing statement. We all feel lost. We all have the power to change that. And feeling lost doesn't have to be your final destination. So make sure you take those baby steps towards the life that you want. All that's left to say is make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Ciao.